Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you today. I don't know if you should need anything from me. All my information is below. It's all twinflames3344.com and at gmail.com. And again, my CD is out there if you want to buy a song. They're at CD Baby, Google Play, Amazon, and CD Baby. iTunes, should I say. And what a great way to support me just by spending $1 on a song where you actually get something too. And it'll help you to purge and bring up some more wounds as well. So, also, what do I want to bring up? Thank you guys always for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and please do share if you like the content. Make sure you share it with others so these messages get out to more people. I'm going to get right into it. It is April 7th, 2019. It's the 7 of the Chariot, which is that bold move forward, to be very powerful. And then the day adds up to the 23-5 of the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is the man of passion. So it's a very passionate, bold move forward. Now the Chariot you have to be careful with because it can be kind of roughshoding over people as well. It can have the positive and the negative aspects of it. And the same with the King of Wands, but there's very, very passionate and bold energy coming out today. And we are the 7 today. 7 and the 5, so very much of spiritual expansion. So before I started the read, I was also I got some messages yesterday. I had a baby shower with family yesterday, so I had to meet my nephew's new son, Jackson, who was so cute. And he was so good, he didn't cry no matter what, no matter, how many people wanted to say hello to him, that kind of thing. He was a really beautiful baby. But it was good because it brought up some family patterns that need to be broken, really showing, and I was actually talking to my brother and his wife about their dynamic too, because, they've been married forever. And the patterns, the holding patterns you're in when you're, because you both want to be right, and this happens in every relationship. One person needs to be the bigger person and break the pattern, and it has to do with ego, right? Because both want to be right, because they are both right, but they are both wrong. So someone has to break that holding pattern, just like a plane in the sky and a holding pattern. Who likes being in that holding pattern when you can't get into the airport, right? So also Peter Pan came up. Because it's going to come up in the read, but it's all about the fairy tales that we see when we're young and how that can distort and scare us as children. And until we bring up that old wound to our consciousness, we can't let it go. And of course, we see it differently as an adult, but until we recognize that wound from like Captain Hook in our subconscious, we can't let go of that wound. Okay, and there's a lot of other fairy tales like that that may have caused fears in us. I was terrified of, we had field mice in our attic growing up, and I was always scared as a little kid that they were going to come through the vents in my room when I was sleeping. So sometimes I would just suffocate myself to sleep so that the mice couldn't get in after seeing like Willard or, those scary movies. There's a lot of that stuff that comes up. And again, go into that SOAS trauma release with Marnie, I forget her last name, but it's M-A-B-O. But it's called SOAS, P-S-O-A-S, trauma release. I encourage you all to try to do this exercise to release all of the fight or flight trauma wounds that are held in your psoas muscle. Okay, and nobody gets into that because it's not a surface muscle. It's hard to get into. And this is a great exercise for half an hour to tax that muscle in order to release the wounds and just allow the shake to come out. And you just sit there afterwards for like 10 to 30 minutes to allow the shake trauma to release, and also it kind of readjusts your spine because the psoas connects from your spine to your legs. It connects your upper half and lower half. So it's really important. So give it a try. Also, right before I started the read, I was getting again, what's the story, Morning Glory, what's the tale, Nightingale? Did you hear about Hugo and Kim? Did he kiss him and cry? Right? Did he put on the pin, or was he too shy? So it's all about gossip, right? Because it's telephone time. So there's gossip going around, but also things may be playing out as well in that sense. And then I was hearing, I thought I was hearing a dog howling, but it wasn't just once, it was multiple times at a distance in my neighborhood, like a dog that was hurt. But, what was your response to that? Did you feel the need to go help, right? So the read was done at 10:55, and that's 10 is always a turn for the better. It's the Wheel of Fortune, and then 55 is the Ace of Swords. It's the Sword of Truth, Excalibur. And the only major arcana in the masculine read today was Guidance and Luna. Guidance is in the traditional deck the Hierophant, and Luna, of course, is the Moon. And this is the Sirian Starseed deck as the main deck. There were 4 swords, so very swordy today for the masculine. 3 cups, 2 wands, and 1 pentacle. You see it was 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 on the swords, and when there are a lot of cups come up, always a lot of swords come up for the masculines as well, because they're not used to being in those feminine emotions. And then we have 2 wands and only 1 pentacle today, which is rare for the masculine, because they're usually more about wands and pentacles in the masculine energy. So the court cards were a lot. There was the Page of Swords, the King of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the after the card read was the Knight of Wands. The before the card read, before the read card was the Page of Pentacles. So there's 2 pages, Pentacles and Swords, 2 Knights of Cups and Wands, which are like the guys out on the town together, also gonna be girls, and then we have the King of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. The numbers and codes all had to do with surrender and love, which was really a beautiful message for the masculine today. The numbers were not a lot. It was just the number 3, which is all about the Empress and abundance, the Earth, Gaia, as that abundance, as well as coming together and expressing yourself authentically. 23 came up for the King of Wands, as well as 33, which is the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself without being defensive, and 68, which is the Page of Pentacles, which is an opportunity to learn. It's the student. It can be an invitation, opportunity for a job, money, anything. It's that opportunity, though. It's being a student again, being young and open. And then we have that 4, 3, 2, 1, so that sequence of going backward, back to 1. So that was interesting as well. And maybe that'll come up again. Who knows? Let's see what happens as I do the read. The message coming up about surrender and love was the Seeker of the High Road. So the student of the High Road. To see when to see mastering, or to see a master with poor guidance from a third party. So where there's third party seeker of the high road, even if you're the student, you may be able to point out to the teacher that they're taking guidance from the wrong people. Okay, but they're also just insinuating that third party guidance may not be the right guidance for you. And stop looking outside yourself for guidance when you are the best guidance for you. So we always can get advice from outside, but we are always the last word, okay? Your connection to your higher self. That is your best connect, your most direct connect. So, and it's also about seeing the teacher and the student. You know, they both are the teacher and the student because we learn from each other. And be careful of who you're getting guidance from. You need to feel into your resonance with the people that you get guidance from, but just associate with in general. Do they resonate with you? Does it make you feel good, or does it make you feel unworthy? Are you listening to them because they sound like they know more than you, and they're doing that on purpose? That's a manipulation, and that means you should not be following their guidance. Okay? If they seem supportive to you and they go along with your feelings as well, that's your friend. If they try to make you do what they say you have to do, that's a manipulation, and it's guilting you into something or making you feel unworthy. So just be careful of that. It's about your discernment of other people, and you, with your awakened abilities, now know how to discern by your feelings, not your mind, okay? So also total hip replacement was coming up for someone, so someone may be going through that. But also the hips come up a lot with some of the release, especially the anger release with the hips, knees, and ankles, okay? So you get some pain because they're all so closely connected. When one's off or out of alignment, then the others are automatically off and out of alignment. It's that trickle effect. So you might want to pay attention to your joints and get in alignment. This psoas release will help your hips align, okay? Also, you might want to do psoas exercise of your knee, lying on your back with your knees up. You can feel under the arch of your back to see which side is higher. The one that's higher is probably the hip that's out of alignment. And in addition to doing that psoas release, you can just, with your knees up, lying down, is use a weight or something to roll just inside your hip where the psoas muscle lies beneath there. Just like a triangle, your uterus, but just inside your hips, okay? All the way up to your waist, down to your crotch, that roll something heavy in there, like a weight, like I use a 10-pound weight that's plastic. or just anything. A tennis ball even too, but it's kind of big for what you want to get into there, more of it in a straight way along the hip line. But just as with your knees up, roll that weight back and forth over that muscle, and then with your knee up, and then allow the knee to collapse out to the side and do the same. And then bring your knee back up and bring your foot out a little bit until it's all the way straight. And just so keep doing that up and then down until your leg's all the way straight. And that'll help, just like you would massage another muscle or release another muscle, it'll help any abnormalities release there, because it never gets touched. Anyway, give that a try if you'd like. And you can look, there's lots of psoas information on YouTube, so please go in there. Feel free to look around. So as we get into this read, and it was just 10:43, and 43 comes up again because that's that group coming together, gossip, and that third-party interference. Everything about that 43 is coming up today, and a turn for the better. Letting go of that outside interference, okay? So lightning strikes the runner about taking the high road. So that was kind of interesting that I saw that today, because the runner term hasn't come up in a long time. Lightning strikes the runner about taking the high road, walking away from heartbreak and separation, third-party situations and interferences, to lead the way to instability or moving, or to end a marriage and or home situation. To allow the instability, because remember, it's just expansion, and you know where your real home is anyway. Use your abilities as they come out more to receive epiphanies, the student of heart connection to source. The bird carries the seed to the plant in the cup as emotions then well up in building a bridge across troubled waters to the dream life. The Queen of Swords, King of Swords together as the King of Wands, who may be poking his nose where it doesn't belong, or the King of Wands is the other persona of the King of Swords, or another part of their group, looking at the Queen of Cups to see what she's doing. Or could be spying on the Queen of Cups, who is awakened and offering new life, that gold coin I talk about, as the boy and the girl come into this life with that pure gold coin, and the pink of the little girl, compassion, and the green of the little boy, physical heart. So the abilities passed through Source to provide a new life in Christ consciousness. The masculine is seeing this and becoming aware of this information. Or new love dream family, dream life, or the Queen of Swords is talking and the King of Swords transforming into the King of Wands, or the King of Wands is interested in the awakened Queen of Cups and her offer of a new life, or possibly a loan of money. Okay, so as we turn the page, it was 11:21, and 21 is completion, of course. Also, that situation could be the Queen of Swords and King of Swords and King of Wands. They could be siblings, where he is different than them, okay? So, which is perfect, and that went along, too, from the cards with what I went through yesterday, because I was with my siblings. And actually talking down and then being open to my abilities, right? Because are you the same when you're at home and you're doing your twin flame stuff? Are you the same person when you go out and spend time with your family? Do they accept you the way you are? Okay? So, and these days I found myself, kind of taking some cards with me wherever I go, because when I go to the Alzheimer's facility, I always end up doing cards for the aides in the room for my mom or just whatever. And then when I went out to the baby shower, we were playing at the table while they were putting presents. And then I took it back to my brother's and my sister-in-law's house, and they asked me to do their cards. So it's always a fun way to bring up, just casually bring up issues, because their issues are your issues. If they're your siblings, they have your DNA, right? So it's a great way to bring up wounds between you and get discussions open that normally, people may have a problem with saying in front of other people. But when you do it in that playful way, in a mediative type of way, it really opens things up. And I've done that before with another friend where all her kids were there, and I did card readings for all of them, and it really brings them all together because they are able to see each other from another perspective. It's like it's more of a, like a group therapy session for me. It's not really about reading the future. That's not what my point is with the cards. For me, it's more of an extension of myself, just because I tend to have nervous energy because I'm Virgo. So it helps me relax as I'm getting my downloads. It helps me open up more. So seeing with the sibling things, the twin may see themselves as different from their siblings, or they've always been, the black sheep of the family, seeing the feminine outpouring of love and the masculine need for wealth and financial security in the family. So the brothers and the sisters and how they were treated differently by the parents and their own perspectives on life. That competition between them, okay? The Queen of Cups connected to the shells and the ocean, which magnetizing pull of manifestation abilities along with nature's protection and portals. Any water helps. Creeks and rivers, flowing is better to clear path of ascension. And then stormy weather and clear skies were coming up as the polarized views, but the Simpsons were coming up as the pretty white clouds, as a happy medium. Okay, so it's always seeing the 0 point in every situation, along with the water, right? So the ocean may crash and may be too violent at times, but the still water, can get murky, and that's the other opposite side of that coin. So you want to get a nice river flow, that's that perfect medium. And of course the ocean when it's a nice day and it's calm. The rust, silvery blue, and animal print was coming up here. Natural fabrics by stagnant water must focus intentions more, right? Because you have that energetic draw away from you. It flows easier at the ocean, in treetops, and flying in the sky. When you're up in the plane, I've noticed that I get a lot of messages when I'm flying. Stretch your legs and hips. Align to get square. Orthogonal is 90 degrees. Use money and energy to align with nature. Toggle or anchor to the earth and trees. And right angle branches off of your body. So it's bringing us back to the structure of your hips, legs, your hips, knees, and ankles, and how the psoas connects that. The right angles of branches off your body, but also the trees outside, as well as the family tree. Are they at a right angle to you? And then it's bringing me into these interesting messages about the shapes again. What squares to you is your natural resonance. Okay, so like for me, Virgo, I square with Sagittarius, Pisces, and Gemini. And it's saying that that's your natural resonance of stability because it's a square, and square is the structure in your life. It's also, you notice the bottom part of your house is a square. I mean, yes, we can get into the technicalities of them being rectangles, but the point is, if you draw a house, you have the square, and then that grounds you, because your home grounds you, makes you safe, right, and secure. It's your root energies. And then you have the triangle of the roof on top, which protects you. Okay, so the square has 4 90-degree angles, the orthogonal angles. The triangle is the roof over your head. So the triangle or the trine is the Virgo, for me, it's Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, right? So all the same earth element, okay, is my protection. So it's saying your square signs are your grounding factor. Your same element factors are your protection factors. So for me, earth is very protective. And then, of course, the circle is your human experience, your source energy embodied by the circle. Your human experience, your body. The square grounds you, the triangle protects you, and the circle is you. Now remember too that when we look at houses and squares and things like that, we see sharp edges. But the sharp edges really are an illusion. They're all soft in the universe, okay? So it's like in feng shui, you always want to put things in the corners to make the flow better, because the corners are really not, it's like false light. So you want to make it smooth, because that's how the energy actually works, by smooth corners, because everything flows into something else, even a square. So also indoors, and making arched portals instead to soften the edge. And remember, in a home, when you don't align with others, you go to your separate quarters. Like, right, so take the square in your house and you divide it into 4 quarters, so your 4 bedrooms or whatever it is. You have that place where you can go to your separate quarters, or eighths, or whatever it is, your piece of the pie, in order to become circular again within your human experience and connected to source. So soften those edges. It was also bringing in the rectangle as the door, the portal to your home. The rectangle is basically two squares coming together, right? When someone comes into your home, it's bringing two squares together. No point for the two squares to compete for territory because it's all grounding. Just take down the wall between you or keep it up until you resonate. So you keep up that wall and be separate squares. If someone doesn't resonate with you, that's why that wall is there, or your door into your home. But once you resonate with them, then you can let go of that wall and it becomes a rectangle. So two squares become one rectangle, or that door, the opening, the window to your home or your soul. And then it was bringing up the so you keep a distance. That's what doors are for. They keep people out. Also in or out of windows. It's the same. It's just more informal. You can keep it open for nature to come in only, right? So you can keep your window open without letting people in, but it allows nature in. So that's a good thing to have. It's a good portal. At each valve, as I've shown you before, because the square is a diamond, which is actually two pyramids together, or cones, right? Because they're three-dimensional at least. That's like a valve in a vein, which keeps going. All right, so if you think of a toroidal field, it's an hourglass, right, in the middle, the core of the toroidal field, and then you go into the next one. So then you have a portal. That's the valve of the vein, and then you go into another toroidal field. So at each valve, or Y in the road, you can decide to continue straight or turn left or right instead. You can change direction at any valve, at any juncture. Always be open to new perspective to expand. When you lay on an angle at home or invert, because you know that a square of your home, if you split in two at an angle, is two of those triangles. Okay, meeting in the middle, they become a valve, a juncture, where then you can then expand to other universes. So it's saying when you lay on an angle at home or invert at 135 degrees, so instead of inverting at 90 degrees, you want to be 3/4 down to 180, okay, like that. So that's that angle in the middle of a square, okay, that makes it a triangle. So if you lay that way on an angle with your body on that perfect degree, or hang on an inversion table on that angle, it helps you align with a new perspective beyond the upright or perpendicular. Where the cones come together, two toroidal fields meet openly, as opposed to 0 point, the center of the hourglass. And then I was getting Unbreakable, the movie Unbreakable. And I saw glass come up yesterday as an advertisement too, around, I think it might have been a sequel to Glass or Unbreakable. I don't know if there was one, but it was coming up as Glass and the movie Unbreakable. The magician uses DNA, crystal energy, the dance of 0 point, and diamond light to manifest. These are the tools of magician embodiment. DNA, crystal energy, the dance of 0 point, and diamond light. That's the rainbow light. Shadow aspects and imbalanced hourglass figure is like injustice and money on the brain, all imbalances of truth that require energetic correction. Okay, so as I turn the page, it was 1207. So it's very important about those 4 tools of a magician. And then at 1207 as well, the train nearby blew its horn 4 times, but the 3rd time was a short horn. And here we are with 3, was the only main number in the coding today of Mother Earth, and socializing, gossip, but also coming together and expressing yourself authentically. And expressing yourself authentically is key to letting other people into your social situation, your sphere. So the Wizard of Oz hides behind the curtain until Dorothy clears her path and confusion, gets her mad enough to force his hand, pushing him to remove his mask, calling him out on his shit, that he can't play with people's hearts like that. Isn't that what Dorothy does? But it is Glenda the Good Witch who connects her to Source, and her alter ego, the Wicked Witch, who dissolves into nothingness. Then no place like home, waking from dream, the missing brain, heart, and courage just reflections of herself she needed to awaken. And the little people, her guides to make her smile and laugh along the way. After all, munchkins are best. They are just right. As well as the wizard who was beyond her scope of comprehension. She now knows it's possible to fly in a balloon and be in a traveling show. It's all good. You don't need to look outside yourself to others to know you are perfect just as you are. And Spirit's been connecting with me this whole time I was saying this. Each one of us imperfectly perfect, each with their special essence. And then I was getting a line from a song I just quoted to you from a long time ago that I wrote. Each with their special essence, a secret of your life. Hold your chin up and don't be in such a hurry. Your life will catch up. And though we will cry, and though life will pass us by, you will know, because the story's been told, that you are someone that can't be gotten, but your heart is the same. And that's my song, Player's Lullaby. So then, correct injustices by letting go of who was right or who was wrong, because that's ego. And dump all the things you don't need in your life that don't make you happy. All untruths. All are imbalances. And that was a perfect example too with my brother yesterday. He has a bunch of old books and she wants him to get rid of them. So it was bringing up, why do you need to hold on to those books? And it's about that, worthiness outside of yourself. All the degrees that you got, your college degrees, maybe you're not using those college degrees anymore, or whatever championships you won, trophies, things like that. And maybe you don't use those things anymore and you want to be reminded of your triumphs. All right, so what does that mean to you? Why do you need to keep those things that are proof of your worthiness? That's what I wanted to say, okay? So it was something that was coming up yesterday, and it doesn't mean you have to get rid of everything, but going through some of those wounds and pulling them up may make you want to get rid of some of those things because you may not feel like you need them anymore. Finances and career came up, as well as loving yourself first. Magician with scowl on his face, right? So the guy who comes off as a magician, but not the magician you want to know, and wielding his sword, displaying his awards to prove his worthiness. He is not an angel. We are all worthy without the award of being loved and adored. If you love what you do, you will always achieve, but it's the inner connect that is the reward. Love, peace, and joy. Let go of burning the past and just focus on the new inspiration and creativity, the love that you feel. Allow the full transformation and allow the surprise, okay? Because you keep trying to find out what the end of the book says, right? You keep trying to jump to the end to see what happens. That was like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, right? To inspire you further, to allow the surprise, write down and dream by the light of the moon. Leave the origamis and the crumpled up paper on the floor for the black cat to play with if you need to. Don't worry about the trash, okay? It'll get cleaned up. Write down what you've experienced or create some music with it. It's just saying, use it another outlet for, use your energy creatively as opposed to looking back at the past in a negative way. Really smell the aroma of the beautiful food cooking with some music. And love, as you slow dance together, allow the energies to marinate between you, your energies. Romancing the stone to soften the corners and smooth out the road ahead. Keep your toroidal field, your 0 point, your hourglass, away from the scythe, the hook, Captain Hook, who harvests your energy. So you realize the Grim Reaper is the farmer who harvests people. He reaps your rewards, the energy that you've received. So the magician, in his ego, keeps the negative past burning so he can siphon your energy from you. Thus, they're the Grim Reaper, the bad man who reaps what you've sown, the energy vampire who won't break the holding pattern. Let go of the past hurts and keep loving in the present to lessen the hold. Okay, so this is the dynamic between you and your masculine, but also him and his karmic. It's the cycle between all of us, our family members, anyone who keeps bringing up the past again, the negative past, because as long as they can keep those negative past fires burning, they have a hold on you. Okay? I got a hold on you, right? What's that song? And I was getting it's a man's world as well. Okay? That's how the man has always held on to the woman, right? Or kept her in his control. Let go of the past hurts and keep loving in the present moment in order to lessen that hold. Cut off the old connections that return to tell you what's wrong with you and manipulate, unless they come lovingly offering help to lift your spirits. When you fall, allow that too. Others will bond with your humanity, your humility. Music came up as number 32, which is that Six of Wands. It's the journey energy, as well as 27, spiritual partnership. 27 is the Ace of Wands, that new passion. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Let go if it doesn't make you happy. It is only your responsibility to make you happy and allow others who resonate with that happiness to come into your life. If they don't get you, why would you want them around anyway? Do you want 100 people who don't get the real you to draw from your energy, or one perfect match who will love you no matter what? The world is your oyster, but there are also a lot of open hearts with masks on out there for you to discern by connecting to your own feelings. The masked ones will knock you off your game. They will cause you to question yourself, your knowing, to feel stuck in deliberation and get you to not trust yourself, to fall victim to attacks or overwhelmed by energies without options instead of not caring what they think, say, or do. Just do you, authentically you, and let the chips fall where they may. Someone triggered by your authenticity is their opportunity to clear their wound, walk away and or within, until they're ready to face the masked world again, or you. And then I was getting, why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Sorry, my voice is going. And this is it. I think I just have a little allergy stuff coming in. So why do the birds flock, right? So remember that authentic love resonates with all, but a need for attention may create a people pleaser showing inauthentic affection to everyone who are not using their discrimination. So, for example, the rock star who continues drug use and using girls for sex will eventually reap that negative energy, right? And how many rock stars like that have fallen in the past? You know, so many people in the music industry have died at an early age. The one who does what he loves or she loves and commits to themselves, allowing their mistakes to be seen, will harvest their dreams. Walk away from false and negative energies, loving yourself first. Walk away from heartbreak and injustice to start a new life. Focus on finances and career for the masculine here by loving yourself first and journaling or writing down your feelings or writing music or playing music. And that page started at 1240, which is 40 is the Page of Cups. So as I turn the page again, it's 105. And 1, of course, is the magician now, and 5 is expansion. So the real magician learning to use their psychic abilities in order to expand and manifest in their world what they desire, their dreams. Also, I was getting to go to bed before midnight, Cinderella, for your beauty sleep, okay? Because the moon energies are the false light. That's time for you to sleep, just like nature, right? Daytime is awake, night is for sleep. Recently, the King of Cups remembers happiness with kids looking back. 4 out of 10 cups showing, but what was the source of your other 6 cups of happiness, masculines? Injustice, divorce, or Libra suddenly receives offers of love and assistance. After injustice and heartbreak comes new life. The foundation has to do with the Page of Swords, bearing of small tidings, the battle over with dysfunctional family or loss of family, money, time, or energy. Now the truth is out. It only takes a spark to create fireworks. But family may be trying to cover it up. Squash it. Squash the news, the energy of your connection, message, or child who likes to talk. Centrally is the divine masculine focused on only one. He's focused on only one of 6 flames, fessing up sneakiness and or half-truths as the wounded warrior guarding or licking his wounds at home, trying to manifest past frustrations and offer a message of love to an unjust situation. The challenge being for the masculine here was guidance of the Queen of Cups in purging cycles and trying to implement a plan. A small message to sovereign while gate is opened in between purges to ask twin out for a date, to get guidance and plan how to go forward. So it's like the masculine saying the challenge for them is, how does he get the timing just right so she's in between purging cycles and not in a purge, or that the moon cycle is just right. Like, so they're trying to pull in all this information to get past the wounded warriors, both of them being wounded warriors, and into union. So now crowning for the masculine is being in your own knowing, unable to focus on work due to synchronicities and negative self-talk about healing and your dreams and achieving them, having your dreams come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Keeping an eye on the Holy Grail and the moon cycles, to be sovereign and aware of what's not working and walk away from it. Passionately go after what you want, what you love, and what you dream of, in order to release any leftover stuck emotions. Put it out there and confess to twin for a reunion date while closing gate to karmic relation and separation, and cutting cords to obsessions with the evil empress, just like in The Wizard of Oz, the evil empress's jealousies, right? Because she was jealous of Glenda the Good Witch, and longing to be the queen behind the emperor, the stars that shine above him, the harsh truth that the emperor judged, muzzled, and caused a nightmare for the wrong person. The power behind the throne and the stars in the sky above him is the one his children recognize, his twin, himself, whom he denied. Soon is the Queen of Pentacles playing out the betrayal between them, the breaks in contracts, the breaks in and divorces, the spirituality, the not listening to your intuition, causing pain and not expressing then those feelings. At home, protecting a partner who refuses to wake up, and at night, for the masculine, the messenger of truth would come in. As 38, the Queen of Cups, the prisoner, to talk to him. As a single sovereign in an open gate of inspired twin, wounded warrior, Mary Magdalene. Okay? So him saying that, realizing the situation now and how this was playing out. That the karmic was the false light of the feminine, and he was protecting her against his divine feminine, which was in turn then protecting her from him. Okay? Because he is the divine feminine. So in protecting the karmic, he ends up protecting her from him. And that's what starts the disconnect. So the divine masculine sees himself as the moon, and as we turn the page, it was 134. 1 is again the magician, and 34 is the 8 of wands, the arrows of love, but also that heated, passionate expression of feelings, or heated exchange between people, whether it's one or the other. It can be a positive or a negative. So the divine masculine sees himself as the moon. This is in his position today, the false light reflection. How he saw himself was the karmic. Complete with sealed divine feminine in near-death loss of energy or illness. So he either became ill or just became very drained, or had a near-death experience to understand that, the error in what he had seen. The messenger of truth knocked him off his feet to break patterns and then land inside the seal with her. So she's, masculine may have felt like the feminine was trying to take him down. when she was just doing her healing of the wounds, which was taking him down because he had to then fall through his dark night just like she did in order to clear out his wounds and then come back and be inside the seal with her. So healing the family issues came up as well as very soon, and let go of control issues for the masculine as well as children are affecting your love life. Around the masculine, or how he is seen, is prisoner, hiding, like Oz when Dorothy caught him. Offering some light, she was offering light and a new life from behind that curtain, right, coming out from behind that curtain, embarrassed to have caused grief when he knew the secrets all along. The Wizard of Oz is the masculine. About patience of Angel and that his guides were always with him. So masculine always knew, but he was denying it to himself. So clearing blocks of coming together, gossip, evil doers. It's clear, masculine needs to clear blocks of coming together with gossip and evildoers, right, to be allowed back in the group that was hurting him, with the Queen of Swords speaking the truth. Or it could be wanting to be allowed back in with the feminine or get her to help him, you know. At night, the false light is now uninspiring to the masculine. He is uninterested in the help offered by karmic and kids that he protected, which hurt, and in turn hurt himself all the times that he let her do it over and over again to him. He did to himself. So love is there as well as surrender for the masculine, but even more so self-love. All right, it's your self-love that brings you together. And effort as well. Walking away is the high priestess with the keys. You refuse to wake up, with all of her sweets and tweets that she sent you, and her nightmare of being muzzled and judged. The Knight of Cups in a tidal wave of emotion as the Emperor hides and the Hermit sheds light after looking at all perspectives and being wise. She is about to walk away and take the keys with her. As the masculine professes his love all of a sudden. The Knight of Wands rushing in because he can't sleep. He can't live without her. I can't live if living is without you. I can't live, I just can't give anymore. So that song was coming up. And his kids seeing the harsh truth of who he is through messages that are coming across about twin flames in general. The King of Wands connects to receive final judgment with his twin, or finally gets his wake-up call and acts on it. Okay, so at night he's not getting along with partners, group, or the Queen the Queen of Wands. They may be drinking, or he may feel indebted to the fantasy, obsessing without getting affection, and wanting to start over and to end the battle with the evil Empress, which can come up as just it's paralleling to Oz. So wanting to start over or end the battle with the evil Empress, which can be an empress or a karmic or a sister or a mother who's jealous of his dreams, his control of the kids out of love, and his loyalty to have kept his emotions quiet, or jealous of the divine feminine who shines her light, has his and his kids' attention, and and she keeps quiet about her huge emotions and passions, that she's able to do that. Okay, so it's that jealousy around all of this, that the divine feminine is the real power behind the throne, the divine masculine, and the jealousy that comes from the karmic about this position. The heartbreak, separation, lightning and healing, with a small message at night of hiding the King of Cups as the masculine, hiding from the attention, and being challenged by guidance of the Queen of Pentacles, third party from his group, could be anyone in the family, a partner, friends, anyone who don't know his heart or his passions like his twin. The King of Cups shock of the third party psychic epiphanies message gets attention without proof of false light. So the masculine seeing the feminines putting out their truth, and people not questioning whether she's a false light, because they're now getting it's because you either resonate or you don't. You either connect to that person or you don't, because you are connected to your source energy and you know what you feel. Okay, so all for the divine feminine community, we all get that. The masculine's now awakening to what we've been doing and why we don't need to prove ourselves, right? And why do we still get viewers if we don't prove ourselves? There's no proof, You know, you don't have the degree, you don't have the trophies, all that kind of stuff is coming up. The King of Cups in shock of that third-party psychic, those epiphanies, that those messages get attention without proof that they're not false light. The Queen of Pentacles offers love while he hid behind the group, family, friends, or false light, now coming out him to confess his love and be judged. So where he's recognizing why now the feminine doesn't need proof, he's also recognizing that he believed the karmic because he wasn't listening to his own intuition. Okay, so he was duped also. Some of the other energies that were coming up real quickly is the, again, like I said, with the pirates and hook, don't forget, because that's the Grim Reaper, harvesting your energy, right? Energy vampires, liar, cheater, thief, using the sword of truth against the innocent. Pirates, and also asthma I wanted to bring up because my brother had asthma. Asthma is a wound about inability to breathe, to fight to survive, suffocation, drowning, someone suffocating you in real life, in a past life or in your lineage, where someone was constantly, you know, wanting to be in your space, you know, a space invader, or someone who's like so needy or that kind of thing, you're suffocating. So asthma is a manifestation of that. You can't breathe. You're fighting for your life. So then the asthmatic ends up behaving like they're always fighting for their life when they're not, when they don't need to. Or think that they're suffocating or drowning all the time, okay, until they heal that wound. Also, so go back to your siblings, the dynamics between you. And after I thought of that, I thought of my brothers, because he used to have asthma attacks and freak out, and he was the one who, you know, had a bad temper. My other brother would sleepwalk or end up at the bottom of his bed, scared, waking up all of a sudden in the middle of the night because he was stuck at the bottom of his bed because he was turned around from my brother's aggression. You get it? So it's kind of cool, the parallels here. So bring up, you know, go back to your childhood and think about these dynamics and how they worked with you. All right, so this is the read here. That's the basic read. And then the full read here. Okay, let's see if I can get this way too. And also, let's see here, I'm going to show you, there's some cards, 3 sets of cards fell out when I was shuffling, so I want to show them too as well. So this one, that came out, and that came out. Okay. And I'm going to do the, oracle cards, but I'm going to do them separately. So you guys rise and be loved.